Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. We are a spiritual community and a center of liberal religion in Richmond with roots stretching back to 1830. My name is Alex Gecker and I serve on our board of directors. If you are a visitor here today, our congregation welcomes you and we are so glad you are here and that you found us in our online incarnation. In times of relative ease and times of great stress for individuals or for our community, this church is guided not by a creed, but by a covenant to uphold shared principles marked by love, respect, and justice. We welcome you to live these principles with us as you continue your spiritual journey. We welcome you with all of your diverse identities as a whole, multifaceted, and beloved person. If you are new to Unitarian Universalism, we invite you to check out our website, join our Facebook group, and reach out by email to membership@richmonduu.org. And I hope everyone will consider stopping by our virtual coffee hour, which starts immediately after this service, at a separate Zoom link that's available in Saturday's email and on Facebook. And as a reminder, please do not hesitate to reach out to staff or to the care team if you yourself are in need as well. We have one announcement this morning, which is a request from staff to please go to the church YouTube channel and subscribe. If we get 100 subscribers, we will be able to change our URL, our link, in order to make the church YouTube page easier for folks to find. Now at this time, I would normally say, please put your electronic devices on church mode, meaning off. But today I guess I will just say, I hope you are well. I hope you are enjoying a comfortable Sunday morning. And you know that I myself am wearing comfy flannel pants underneath this. And be well. I miss you all, and I'm so glad that we're able to join together in this manner. So with that, welcome to this joyful Sunday, made sacred by all of us being here together, worshiping and sharing our time with each other.
Good morning, and welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church. I am the Reverend Sherman Logan, and I have the privilege of serving this congregation as its executive minister. It is wonderful to have all of you, our members, friends, and those who may be visiting us for the first time, joining us this morning for our digital worship service. We hope you find this service to be uplifting, comforting, and encouraging as we share this time together in community, fellowship, and love. We welcome you. In this hour of worship, we come together for different reasons. Some of us come longing for tenderness because this world can be hard. Some of us come longing for light because our lives are crowded with shadows. Some of us come in need of strength because we are facing the challenges of life. Some of us come in need of hope because we feel like giving up. And some of us come in need of love because we are feeling alone. So whatever reason you decide to come to worship this morning, we hope that your burdens will be lifted, that you will find peace, and you will find joy. And we are glad that you are here with us. Come, let us worship together.
Sending you light to hold you in love. I am sending you light to heal you,
We light this chalice in person and apart. We light it to dispel darkness and to bring hope. We light this chalice because we are community.
This is our responsive reading from James Baldwin. It's called For Nothing is Fixed. Please read with me. For nothing is fixed forever and forever and forever. It is not fixed. The earth is always shifting. The light is always changing. The sea does not cease to grind down the rock. Generations do not cease to be born, and we are responsible to them because we are the only witnesses they have. The sea rises, the light fails, lovers cling to each other, and children cling to us. The moment we cease to hold one another, the moment we break faith with one another, the sea engulfs us and the light goes out.
There's enough love in this world to wash away all the pain, sadness, sorrow, rain. Nothing you see would be without it. Nothing ever done would last to be passed on. There's enough hate in this world to scatter the clouds of doubt, to let the darkness out. But there's enough love in my heart to give you a place to heal, to hold you so you feel. There's enough love in this world. You may not be able to see it from where you are, but let me remind you, you are so close, you've come so far. You may not be able to see it from where you are, but let me remind you, you are so close, you come so far. There's enough love in my heart to give you a place to heal, to hold you so you feel.
Our Share the Plate for March is dedicated to set up a new disaster relief fund. We would never know when our lives would be suddenly touched by natural or man-made disasters, right here in our community or any place on this planet. And often when disaster strikes, we are called to intervene, and it has always been challenging to quickly collect money and expedite funds to where it is needed. The Disaster Relief Fund will provide a reserve that will allow us to quickly dispense money to the UU organizations or other worthy recipients offering much needed relief. We thank you in advance for your generosity. And now on your screen, you see the ways in which you can contribute to this fund. Thank you.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
A reading from the Christian Scriptures. And whenever you do pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him.
I'm tempted to be greedy now, to be greedy about prayer. Normally, my spiritual time is spent trying to be aware of a greater consciousness that radiates love and wisdom and beauty, and is rising in this cosmos, on this planet, in me and in all of us. That's the way I spend my spiritual time, thinking about being a part of that. The way I pray is to believe that I can be a part of that rising power, that consciousness that contains wisdom and beauty and love. I believe that I'm called to be a part of it, to be part of what is good. I believe that I am absolutely a part of what that thing greater than myself might be. And I learned how to transcend fear by just taking some time to feel myself being a part of that whole, that greater thing than I am. But lately, in the middle of this pandemic, it's been a little harder to transcend fear and to try to raise my own consciousness. I struggle with it a lot more. I start naming things that I would like to have for you, for me, for other people. I'm praying to put myself, you, everyone else into safety. I'm praying to become something more than myself, like as though I had the power. And praying isn't that. Praying, for me, is spending time to know that in me is the love that is greater than myself. Being in nature helps me do this. Being quiet helps me do this. Paying attention helps me do this. Words do not help me do this, and more words help even less. Being in the middle of a pandemic, not so much. But what matters is spending time connecting with that which is greater than myself. Now, I hope it doesn't scare you to hear what your minister thinks about spiritual practice. I hope it's not so unusual to you, or the words so foreign that we'd be put apart by them. And in fact, that's part of the reason that words in prayer are really kind of useless. I'm new to pandemics. I'm a rank amateur, and I have to admit that that's the case. Everything is so changed and so different. If I have to get on one more Zoom call with 50 ministers and talk about what we're doing so that they can know what they should do, I mean, it's really demanding these days. And some of it isn't about what we're talking about. It's just about seeing one another, connecting with one another, reassuring one another, living in love with one another. I want to pray for specific things when I'm fearful. And when times are better, I look down on that. I call that petitionary prayer. Petitionary prayer is the kind of prayer that many of us were taught to do at bedtime when we were children. We were taught to bless mommy and daddy and siblings and the dog and everyone else. But mainly, the virtue of petitionary prayer was it taught us to count our blessings, to enumerate all the wonderful people and all the wonderful blessings that we did have in our lives, and to take on an attitude of gratefulness for them. But as a child, I also heard the words of Matthew that Reverend Sue read to us before. I heard the words that said, "And whenever you pray, don't be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward already. But whenever you pray, go to your room and shut the door. Pray to your Father who is in secret. When you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do." He was a Jew, the author of this, and so he's getting at the Jews who are a little righteous about the Christian belief. "Do not be like them, for your Father already knows what you need before you ask him." As a child, I remember hearing those words. It struck me powerfully. I heard how doing things in public for credit, not important, not really important. And using a lot of words, well, I had always sensed that sincere short prayer was better than long windbag kind of prayer. And I knew in my child's heart that in prayer we were naming specific things to hear that God already knows what we need. That presented a big problem for me. Because if God already knows what we need, why the heck don't we have it? I asked myself, why then do babies get sick and die? Why are there wars? Why is there evil? Why do people hate each other? I had unknowingly stumbled into one of life's great theological questions, so paradoxical that most people never develop the answer to it. Most people walk away from the question. It's a question so defining that many, unable to answer it, just give up. End any hope of a relationship, end any belief in any notion of something greater than themselves. It's called the theodicy question by theologians. And while my childhood self was not really ready for the depth of reflection required on that question, my adult self has come to wonder about it often. Because so many of us trace back our understanding as to whether or not there is a God, as to the question of whether or not there is a God who knows what we need. But let me come back first to the very beginning of that reading that was shared today, the part where the writer of the gospel is showing a bit of disdain for people who were demonstrating public piety, being right and doing the right thing by praying so that they were seen by others. The writer has an issue with them, and he says those people who pray in synagogues and street corners. This might give us pause because obviously synagogues and other houses of worship are where we actually do get together sometimes to pray, sometimes just to reflect. What Matthew, or the author of Matthew, is actually telling us that such places of gathering and praying are useless unless beneath it we have a secret, a private thing, a personal relationship. Now, for some of us who are UUs, we see no proof of anything larger than ourselves. Quite right, there is no proof, and we need to respect everyone's belief. No one can point to evidence of a benevolent, much less intervening God, and no one can answer the theodicy questions fully. Everyone in life suffers. Some suffer so disproportionately to others. Some suffer innocently and early. And so how is God, if we suffer, how is God at work here? Is there anything that really has an effect on our lives? Is there anything at all? I mean, science says better we place our trust in science. Others say flesh and blood. Some say only what can be proven in experiment. And at a time like this, we want to be in concert with science and the findings of science and the leaders of science. We want to follow, in a time of pandemic, science and not our personal preferences. But as human beings, we need to have a moral center. We need grounding and a sense of purpose and understanding, so that in our lives there are things that are larger than ourselves, the common good, just being one, for example, public health being another. There are things larger than ourselves, and maybe much, much larger. How do we come to understand and trust something larger and the higher purpose that it points to? Well, the writer of Matthew 6 made a suggestion to us. The writer said, whenever you pray, go into your room, shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Bumblebee. Do this, the writer says. Do that. Go into your room. The reading talks about doing things in secret in your room because it wants you to understand you have to enter into personal reflection. You have to recalibrate your understanding. Every day, every human being needs a time to put themselves back into perspective, including the facts that you are not God. You're not in charge of everything. You can't save everyone. But that elemental idea that sometimes we're responsible for everything overwhelms us, especially we parents, we grandparents who worry so much. It's also about the elemental idea that we need times of reflection and space and silence in order to understand and sense what is greater than ourselves. In other words, we do need to go to a space where we are alone and able to be aware. And that is the heart of what we call spiritual practice. The heart of it. Making time in your day, every day, if you can, and wishing you could if you can't. Making time to check in on your relationship to love and wisdom and beauty, and to see if you're in concert with it, if you're flowing with it. And if you do, then you'll find that in any relationship you have, you'll have frustration if you don't, and honesty and understanding and a willingness to grow if we do. And when beauty and love and wisdom flow, that's when we get really good with each other. That's when peace breaks out. That's when deep meaning is found. So in spiritual practice, in prayer, we're not looking to connect with some Jehovah God who's keeping a little tab on us. Spiritual practice is the need of all human beings to be aware of their relationship to the sacred, to the beautiful, and not to account for all of our wishes to be met. Life is not a Disney movie. Our spiritual practice is to sense that we belong to love, we belong to wisdom, and we belong to beauty. It is in us. We are part of it. We will cycle through this animation that we call life, and we will be a part of it onward, onward. So when we take time to pray or to just commune with that beauty and wisdom and love, it helps us. And when we do so together, we remind each other that it is important. It is important to do that. We honor and love the beauty of the cosmos. We name aloud our joys, the concerns we have. We put forward our ideas about how to create justice where justice does not yet exist, which is living in wisdom and love and beauty. All people, all beings, all in the cosmos deserve love, wisdom, and beauty. If you long for that which is larger than yourself, if you want to connect with it, if you have impulses rising where you have a sense that you belong to a greater thing, here is how you can show it. Take time in your day, every day, to notice the beauty around you. Do things for others, for your family. You parents must be exhausted trying to figure out how to redesign a life that is in your home only. Get on Zoom calls. Connect with people. Talk to someone you would like to know better. Call somebody in the church who you know is home alone. Talk to anyone who shows any sort of preoccupation or fear. Get off of Facebook and call them. Spend time on the phone with your relatives, your friends. Set up a face-to-face call and sit and have a conversation. Show your love to the people you love. And in letting them know that you see them, you love them, and that you're grateful for the love they offer you, we are all renewed and grounded. So this minister has shared with you her weird words and her crazy ideas about what it means to have a daily spiritual practice. That matters. I hope that I haven't scared you all off, and if you're a visitor here, I hope it doesn't sound too weird. I share it because this is a time for us to share what is true and what makes us vulnerable. I share it because you and I need to be truthful with one another. But then I remember, you already know this. And my job is to remind you that you already know this, that you've had moments of awe and wonder, that you have made connections with beauty and wisdom and love, and that it flows in you. Sometimes it gets stopped up in me, I think maybe for you too. But we need not stand on the street corners and pray about it. I remember to stop feeling needy when I spend that time. I remember to trust the love that exists. I remember too that I can be the love, and you can be the love. And if we accept that from one another, amazing things happen. I remember that you are the love I need when I'm worried. And I know that I am grounded in the truth when you love me. May it be so. Amen, Amen, Ashe. Blessed be. Now it's time for reflection and prayer, contemplation. Whatever word is meaningful to you, I invite you into a time that notes that which is greater than any of us. In our community today, we especially will remember Barbara Henderson, who's recovering from surgery, Sunny Mae Honeycutt, who was born this week, and Barbara and Reggie celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. I'm remembering too the Wingfields, Rhonda's parents, both of whom have been unwell of late. And I know many people who are struggling with difficulties, personal and beyond them. We think of you. We think of those who are uncertain about their employment and financially on shaky ground. We also know that we are so grateful to our healthcare providers who selflessly are out there doing the amazing work they do. And we are doing our part to see that they can be safer. I pray that it is enough. Join me. Spirit of life, we are a frail and imperfect people. We are given sometimes to fear or loneliness, to a belief that maybe we are not enough to meet this moment. Teach us to rely on one another, to believe that together we can build communities of love and wisdom, that we create beauty when we create community, and that we can show love to everyone, even the people we understand the least and like not at all. Let us be unafraid to be creative and collaborative. Let us believe in one another. This is my prayer for this community this week. This is my prayer for the world.
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more somewhere. There is more somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. there is more love somewhere.
Our words to extinguish the chalice come from the Fifth World Conference on Women and Circle Connections. Let us see one another through eyes enlightened by understanding and compassion. Release us from judgment so that we can receive the stories of our sisters and brothers with respect and attention. Open our hearts to the cries of the suffering world and the healing melodies of peace and justice for all creation. Empower us to be instruments of justice and equality everywhere. This is a prayer for every day for all creation. Let us extinguish our chalice.
Our benediction today is this: be still, be quiet, and find the deepest connection to the largest thing you know. Blessings to all. I love you all, and I hope for you and for all who take care of us that we are well.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, though you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another, it doesn't take any sacrifice. Father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels right, don't think twice. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I have to say to you is shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. Tell me what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I have to say to you is shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Oh no. They say in every life a little rain must fall. They say in every life a little rain must fall. Let it rain, love, 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 sunshine. Oh, Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better